I'm at the gym, yeah, I think you can tell. And I'm alone at the room because it's before 4 p.m. and there's no one here. I'm going to 3 because why not?
Cooking soda pain.
Your assumptions about lawyers, especially candidate attorneys, and I asked you guys to send me your assumptions and some of you did, but I'm only going to be answering 10 and I'll do 10 workouts. How does that sound? Alright, let's start with the workouts.
We are doing the core. Yes, I don't know what's this workout called, but you can tell what I'm doing. It engages your lower abs mostly, and you want to do the core not for the six-pack, but in order for you to have strength to push weights, pull weights, the core has to be really strong.
The first assumption, we get to spend all of our day in court. Yeah, that's true. I only went back to the office just before 1 today, but you're not just speaking in court, you just are there to maybe wait for a postponement, maybe there's something that is wrong with the court, but otherwise, often, most of the time before the trial process, you are just in court to stay, maybe wait for like 20 minutes to an hour and be done with court in like 5 minutes. You barely speak for 5 minutes in court. It is, yeah.
Workout number 2. We are still doing the lower abs, and you wanna use weights that are heavy enough for you. Here, not too light, not too heavy. So I was using 7 kg throughout the workouts because that's fine for me. So yeah, be careful with this on your face. You don't wanna break your face or your glasses.
Assumption number 2 is that everything that you learned in varsity is sufficient to sustain you at college. You don't need to know anything more, you know everything. That's wrong. We don't know everything. We barely know anything actually. Everything that you learn in university is just the foundation and the theory of the law. The application of it, no. But it's important to know things that are happening, obviously at the base. But you only get to learn in anything that you want to specialize in. You only get to learn about when you're out of varsity. Your next assumption is that we have to actually all own a court trolley bag, that the moment you are done as an attorney, the moment that you get your articles, you have to now have a trolley bag. No. You don't need that bag. I do not own one, and my boss barely carries hers as well, because that bag is unnecessary. It's necessary, obviously, yeah, if you are carrying like big files or a lot of files, but most of the time, especially private attorneys or like proprietors, why do I not know how to pronounce it? But yeah, you barely carry files that are more than 5, and file content is barely more than like maybe this big, because my bag is often heavy because most of the time I go to court to file, to serve before going to court. But the only reason why my bag is heavy is because sometimes I pay to file, to serve or to file, or I had this very, very long matter, like it has been going on since I got here. Okay, not since I got here. I started with the matter last year, August, and I only finalized it 2 weeks ago. Or was it this week? I can't remember, but it was a rescission application. that I've been doing since last year and only got to complete this year. So that file was like maybe this big, just one file of one matter, and it's a rescission application. So then if you're carrying those, then yeah, it makes sense to carry the trolley bag, but you don't need one. Buy it if you can afford it. And also, Mina, I don't drive, not by choice, because I don't have a car. But I cannot be pulling a trolley bag in Zulemarek. I cannot be pulling a trolley bag. I'm just imagining walking up in Zule ShopRite. There's a ShopRite next to court. Doesn't make sense. So I don't own one. So you don't need one as well. Another assumption is that most of us like public speaking. I don't like public speaking. I've never liked public speaking. Solely because I stutter. So I've always had that insecurity about speaking in public, because I always go like, because I'm trying to hold myself from stuttering. But most of the time, especially candidate attorneys and older attorneys usually tell you that I actually don't enjoy being called up to do a speech or do what, because I only do this when I'm doing my job. So no, another assumption, we all just like speaking.
Here, please make sure that your dumbbell or whichever weight you are using is actually stable, or just use the proper machine, or you will break something.
Is that we don't like answering questions straight. We cannot answer your I have a questions straight, because each and every case is different. If somebody dying in the same way could be totally different circumstance for another person. So you cannot say, okay, so life. You could be or you could not. You could even go home like nothing happened. So we cannot then say the answer is yes or no answer. There is no yes and no answer in law. So yeah, you are correct about that. Another assumption is that lawyers do not have money. For candidate attorneys, yeah, that's true. But if you not all of them, okay, let me address this one. Like, lawyers make a lot of money. There is money in law, but I feel as easy as people assume, and as fast as people assume. But when you make it, you really do make it. That's number one. Number two, candidate attorneys, the moment that you get out of high school, not high school, varsity, in your head, obviously, you should have this in mind. You're not going to make as much money as you would. Because even if you are in a big firm, you are making like 20, 30,000 rand, 20,000, 25 for in the big five firms. Like usually those are their take-home salaries. But if you are now an admitted attorney and an associate, a senior associate, you are looking at above 60, above 70. That's making like big money. But as soon as you are, the moment that you're out, no. And then if you're going to be practicing on your own, you will make money, but you have to do the groundwork with any other place. But yeah, imali khona kalo. Do not make anyone convince you otherwise. Like, do not, like, I remember I was watching this interview, forgot the judge's name. I'll link her the interview down here. She's judge at the Labour Court March. See, she had the single story of Goti advocates, especially black advocates, don't make money, so she decided that she's not going to be an advocate, which is something that I decided. That's why I relate to that. I go back to that interview so many times, because I realized that so many of my assumptions when I got out of varsity were because I listened to just a single story. As I said in my last video, 2 articles and then finish, which is what I did. But I wanted to be an advocate. I always do. Futhi, I still think I will convert at some point into being an advocate, because I won't enjoy staying in the practice of attorneys for long, but I always like litigation, so being an advocate is something that's cute. So ikhona imali, but because there's people that assume that there's a lot of gatekeeping, if I may put it. There's a lot of gatekeeping, and there's a lot of delays in the process of getting to the money ending, because ikhona, do not make anyone make you think otherwise. And yes, candidate attorneys could attest to Gucci. They make a lot of money. You see money coming into a firm and you're like, we make a lot of money, but I easy Tina. But at some point, remember that ikhona and yenzeka, but it doesn't come overnight. It just doesn't happen that way. But yeah, ikhona.